Welcome to the Crime Dawg podcast with your host and content creator, Johnny FIORICA, whose 14-year-old godson, Dean, is already smarter and more successful than he is. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crime Dawg podcast. I'm your host, content creator Johnny FIORICA, 30-year veteran, Rochester Police Department, recently retired about 6 months ago. I want to introduce you to my co-host, the first one on deck, David SIMPSON. Legendary street cop, SWAT cop. He was a homicide detective, and he is on the pod. David, welcome, brother.
Happy to be here, boys. I missed you.
You don't sound that enthused, but we're going to move on to our other guy,
David, I missed you.
Blanchard. Whoa, you guys are being nice to each other even before I introed you, Jay?
I'm going to try today. I'm going to turn over.
We missed each other. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a week. By the way, I can't wait to get into some stuff. Anyways, that sweet locks of love that you see on top of the head right there. His name is Jason Blanchard. Worked all over the Rock, Clinton section, Genesee section. He worked all over Lake section. He is the lead hostage negotiator for the RPD hostage team. He is a self-proclaimed alpha male of our podcast and self-proclaimed 1994 Hall of Famer of what we don't know. But Jason, welcome to the pod.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for the intro. David, great to see you back from Florida with your smiling face. Happy you're back.
Thank you, Jay. You're so kind to me.
You're welcome.
Okay, I just want to let the audience know, all six of them, that you two have never been this polite to each other. You guys were rapid fire before we went live and we hit the button. And Jay, you got a fresh haircut today. Looks great.
I did, thank you. And I'm wearing my Yankee shirt in protest because Aaron Boone got thrown out of the game with literally 3 pitches into the game tonight, and they threw him out of the game.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Unprecedented.
Because a fan yelled, and they thought it was him. It wasn't
that's
even
correct.
him.
And you know, Johnny, not to get sidetracked, but we always do. I kind of laughed because by virtue of what we've done for, I don't know, a combined 80 years, right? How much nonsense did we have to listen to from people in our careers and get heckled, right? And this couldn't handle some fan who he thought was the manager heckling him a little bit, and he ran him from the game in the first inning with 3 pitches into the game.
Yeah, you know, as you say that, I remember like you'd set up like homicide tape or whatever they call it, the caution crime scene tape, right? And you'd be on whatever, Joseph Avenue, and you have like a whole block cordoned off. And literally, it was like Lionel Messi was there. Like fans were all over. They weren't fans; they were people in the community, and they were just yelling shit at us as they were just throwing shots at us. Sometimes rocks and bottles too. But yeah, I mean that's exactly what it was like. You know what I mean? Probably for Boone.
Yeah, the
manager of the Yankees.
You know
what
who
I like, Jay, though,
hold
on. What I like is that the retired guy, I realize I watch afternoon baseball because I'm the retired guy. And what else do you do in the afternoon than watch Yankee baseball? Right. Yeah. You are not. So how was your day today?
I didn't see it live. I did get the update from my friends who were Boston fans who advised me that Boone got run.
I know who that was.
Well, that's correct. And, you know, Johnny, you know who wouldn't have done that, Johnny? Rochester's own Kenny Kaiser. Kenny wouldn't have run him.
Kenny Kaiser's a man.
Ken might have fought him, but he wouldn't have run him.
So wait a minute. So you brought Kenny Kaiser up, right? So Kenny Kaiser used to have the Kenny Kaiser dinners, and they were always at the Diplomat Party House. Yeah. Right? Diplomat Banquet Center, later known as on Lyle Avenue.
I'm sure you shook somebody down for something there.
Everybody knows Mr. Polizzi, legendary businessman in the Rochester community. God rest his soul. He just died last year. Loved him to death. They're like a second family to me, right? So Louis Jr., the oldest son, and I are still friends and hanging out. And Louis used to tell me that when he was there, like bussing tables, because we were kids when Kaiser's dinner was going on, he said the 2 biggest guys he's ever seen in his life were Big John Studd from WWF or WWE, WWF at the time, and Jose. He said Jose Canseco was just as big as Big John Studd. He said he was ginormous. Plus, he was hitting the sauce back in the day.
He was hitting the sauce the way he was. He was juiced out of his mind.
Yeah, I know. But he said they were
definitely juiced out of his mind.
They drew some big names back in the day. Big names. Huge names, you know? I mean, there was some major. Kenny was very well respected in Major League Baseball and in the sports community. right out of Rochester, New York.
It was a great charity too, from what I remember. I mean, he put a lot of money back into. I don't remember specifically what it was. I was younger, but I remember it drew a lot of interest, and he did a really good job. I think it might have been something with the children, something with kids. I thought kids cancer maybe or something like that.
Well, David, you know what?
It's look at all this knowledge the Crime Dawg podcast has.
They call that a handoff, Johnny. It's a little saucer pass in hockey over the back door for a tap in.
It's like T-ball, even though I didn't play it. But I mean, T-ball. When you just teed it right up for me, didn't you? That's why you're number one, David. I'm just going to say it for the record. Put it right on record. You're number one.
Say it one more time.
You're number one. Yeah. So speaking of charity, not Kenny Kaiser. We don't have him on the pod. We got someone more legendary than Kenny Kaiser. We got someone, I would say, even more homegrown than Kenny Kaiser. We have RPD royalty, retired royalty, did 32 years plus with the Rochester Police Department. Retired a couple years ago. I worked with him throughout my entire career. He is the current executive director of the Pirate Toy Fund. Gentlemen, welcome Otto Harnischfeger to the pod, boys.
Gentlemen, how are you? And those dinners was hosted by Pete Pavia. And in the Camp Good Days was the recipient of those dinners. Yeah, great cause, great organization. And thank you for having me. And congratulations on your podcast, guys. It's a hit. I love listening to it. So keep up the good work.
Well, hang on. Quick story, because we get sidetracked. Shiny ball. Jay, you're going to enjoy the story. So Pete Pavia, legendary referee, basketball referee, out of the Rock. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I remember.
So so what do we talk about? The old neighborhood, right? Edgerton Park? Dude, you're going to love this story.
Was he out by Al Stand?
Better. He was at the local bar called the Edgerton Grill, which is now gone. It used to sit at the corner of, we say Coster Street, but CoStar and Saratoga. So Pavia, making good money at the time, hung out with all the guys from the neighborhood, including my father, ends up going there. They're all playing cards, because Pete's one of the guys. Hands my dad, like back in the day, I mean, this was like 50, or how long ago? It was like 50 bucks, or it was like 30, 50, whatever it was. Said, Pete, tells my dad, could you run and grab us all garbage plates? So my father took orders, blah, blah, blah. Now, none of us were born at the time. Took everybody's order, wrote everybody down. Did I tell you the story?
I remember. It's good. It's good.
Took everybody's order down what they wanted. You want a hot sauce? No onions. Goes out the front door, gets to the car, drives home, hands my mother the money. He goes, go buy Lisa, my older sister, some diapers, because they had no money at the time. Yeah, that's a literally true story. Anyways.
It was a donation.
I know. See, Otto, man, we prepped Otto. Again, Otto's here with us, executive director of the Pirate Toy Fund. We prepped Otto because we are the shiny ball guys. We get sidetracked. Anyways, Otto, first of all, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming and being a guest tonight. We got a lot of stuff to promote, right?
We do. And again, thank you for promoting the Pirate Toy Fund. We've been around for almost 29 years now. It started with Gary the Happy Pirate and Dave and Lori Simonetti after the death of their daughter, Christy. And I don't know if some of you remember that they were doing a bone marrow drive around the community trying to get a match for her. And while she was in the hospital, she befriended Gary the Happy Pirate, who would go up and do shows and stuff. And eventually she got a bunch of toys, and she started handing them out to other kids because she had too many. So after she passed, that's how the Pirate Toy Fund got born. And we got the first year, I think we gave out 400 toys. Last year, we gave out 36,000 toys free of charge to 105 program partners, all because of a caring community.
Could you explain to our listeners how they can donate toys, because they're new and unused and in the current containers that they come in, correct? They don't, you don't take used toys, right?
No, we can't. The hospital, especially with the restrictions of all the the infectious, problems they have and stuff. Yeah, we need new toys. You can go to any mall any time of the year. The malls have our toy boxes there. Strong Museum of Play has a toy box there. And then at Christmas time, of course, when we do our toy drive with Channel 13, who's been phenomenal with us, promoting our cause, you can go to any Wegmans, any Lattimore Physical Therapy, any Mark's Pizzeria. Mark's Pizzeria, if you got it at your house to deliver the pizza, they'll pick up your toy and bring it in for us. Mark Crane has been phenomenal for the Pirate Toy Fund. Good man. And Connective Federal Credit Union, all the Connective Federal Credit Unions collect for us. They've been a big supporter of the Toy Fund. I'll tell you what, we're a blessed organization. The last year, we've had a lot happen that made us go to that next level.
Yeah, shout out to Mark's Pizzeria. We Jay, you got to connect through Jamie Lyle, and you have said nothing but great things about the founder and the owner of that, right, man?
Yeah, that's an awesome thing. And, think about, you can't be more convenient than that, right? They bring you your food, your dinner, whatever, and you can hand them the toys, and they take that back and make sure it gets into the right hands. So that's a great thing. Talk about, community coming together, and that's kind of the epitome of it.
And Jason, what he does at Christmas time, the Crane family takes us shopping. We go to the Walmart out in Masson, and he buys $5,000 worth of toys for the Pirate Toy Fund. We go shopping. They have one cashier designed just for us, and we just go cart after cart after cart, and we load them up into his pizza truck. I mean, that's the kind of people we deal with, and they're the ones who give back in this community that we're blessed to know.
Yeah, I hear stories about him, and I know they're not urban folklore. I mean, because I've heard not a one bad thing about Mark. And I hear stories about him, and half the stuff that he does, it's like not even public knowledge. Like people don't even, he's like, I always use this reference. I've used it a couple times. I use it on Lonsberry. I use it on the pod. But he's like Barry Sanders. He scores a touchdown. He just goes to the bench and hands the ball to the ref. He doesn't say nothing. No rah-rah.
They're great people, and what they do for the Pirate Toy Fund is unsurpassed. I'm telling you, they're a great organization to be partnered with, and they're there every Christmas to help us out with the toy collections as well as the donation of buying the toys for us.
Well, that's awesome. So you named all the spots where you can put a toy, and so you guys have been doing this for how long? You said, Otto?
I took over in 2020. I retired in 19. I've been on the board for about 22 years and worked my way up through the board. And then when Gary decided to retire, I threw my hat in the ring, and they screwed up and hired me.
I doubt that. That's what we call a great acquisition. Great acquisition. So we got something popping May 4th, 2024. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Strong Museum. Why don't you tell our listening audience what you guys got going on that the Crime Dawg podcast is going to participate in?
In conjunction with the Kentucky Derby, we do our Carousel Derby. And what it is, we have riders that volunteer to ride for 2 hours, and whoever raises the most money within that 2 hours becomes our champion for the day of the Carousel Derby. You can buy breaks as you're on riding. You can pay. We have the Happy Pirates, who are phenomenal. They're a local singing group, and they took over a lot of Gary Happy Pirates songs. They're there to help promote it and stuff, and they'll have sales where, okay, you donate X amount of dollars, you guys can get off the carousel for 20 minutes. And it's only a 2-hour ride, Dave, so I think Dramamine could help you.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours.
2 hours. Otto, you know me well. It was the last time I sat still for 2 hours.
And
that's a good point, David.
But again, all the proceeds go to the Pirate Toy Fund, every penny of it. We got to thank Strong Museum of Play. Connective Federal Credit Union is a sponsor of that also. It's a lot of fun. We do raise some money. A couple of riders couldn't do it this year, but we'll hopefully have them back next year. But you already interviewed Sheriff Baxter. I felt bad because we're going to try putting a camera on him because 2 years ago, he fell off the horse. He was trying to get on it, boom, off the horse, into the merry-go-round and onto the floor, and we all missed it. There was nothing recorded.
Wait. Sheriff Baxter fell off a not real horse on a carousel?
He did. If next time you talk to him, if you have him on your show again, ask him about it.
I'm texting him after the podcast.
Wait a minute. So hang on a second. Wait, didn't he like have some jousting duel with another sheriff from another county on a live horse?
He did.
Yeah. And Baxter is pretty in good shape and athletic, and he fell off a fake horse, but he was able to joust with a sheriff of another county.
Listen, I don't want to throw him under
real
the
horses, weren't they?
I don't want to throw him under the horse, but he did go under the horse.
Wait, but hang on though. But they did something that sheriff they did something. Didn't they do like a race?
The horse rodeo where they do the
yeah.
The competition with the horse marchings and whatever.
That's funny. I did not know that.
And we did a funny video.
So wait a minute.
Go to ptfderby.com. You can see some of the videos in the past. And he rode we had him walk away with this little miniature horse. He was going to go practice for the Derby. But it was hilarious that we gave him this little horse to go practice on. But I tell you what, that's what makes the world go round. These people are so great to step up, jump on here. Dino K is going to be coming on the horse this year. We got Sheriff Long from Gates PD. It's a good bunch. And
so is Dino the one that does, is he on with Wheeze?
Yeah, he's on Wheeze right now.
Okay.
So and we've done stuff with him in the past. He was one of the original ones when we started this years ago, and he offered to come back. Well, I kind of threatened him, but then he offered to come on after I threatened him, so it worked out well.
That's awesome.
What's the bathroom situation and for the 2 hours?
Yeah.
Didn't tell you about the Depends? You
no.
You got to put one on before you get on the horse?
I mean, I'm stressing over this. I'm Gatorade bottle, but it depends.
I'm teasing you, dude. I'm teasing you. No, if you need a bathroom break, it'll stop. It'll let you go to the bed. We're not going to let you wet the horse. Come on.
I'll get off for $5,000, David. They stop it, you get off.
Well, listen, word on the street.
I'm going to have to come in there with a bag, Jay.
This guy's got more money than he knows what to do with.
Well, Jay, word on the street that you guys are going to raise like $1 million, I'm told. You guys are going to raise tons of money, I'm told. Is that true?
$1 million.
Come on, you guys
we
know
talked
everybody.
A lot of trash. We talked a lot of trash.
We're not very well liked,
Otto. we talked a lot of trash about the Derby when we were on Lonsberry, and I think I checked. I think we got like $50 in the account.
It's okay. Everything starts low. You got to start low. You know.
Well, this is
Johnny.
Really
I think you take that money, head out to the Finger Lakes, try to leverage it on a couple of horse races, and then we'll turn that 50 into 500.
Put it on, then take the 500, put it on red.
Or take the $50
DraftKings.
Take the $50 home, give it to your mom to tell her to go get diapers. I mean, you could do either way.
You can do that too.
So here's why Dave and I are stressing out, right? Because when we were at lunch the other day, the whole Crime Dawg podcast crew, the producer Danny Agnew, who you know very well because you so benevolently. Anyway, so you gave us Danny. You said, "Hey, hook you up." Blah 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 blah. I called Danny. It was a match made in heaven, and now he's our producer. And we're at lunch, so we're at Char, and Danny starts talking about the Carousel Derby, and he's like, "Yeah, man, you're on it for 2 hours." But me and Dave like 2 hours. I thought we were just like going to stand there, and no, I go about raising money. We were like stuttering And then he's like, "No, man, you can't get off." I'm like, "What do you mean you can't get off?" And then he went in this whole thing, and he literally did fish hook us. And it was like 20 minutes, and Jay's like, "You guys are such idiots. Like we couldn't take breaks. You had to pay to get off. You had to pay to drink. You had to pay to eat. You had to do." He's like, "Oh yeah."
When someone says I can't do something, that inevitably right away makes me start to twitch.
Yeah.
Like when you say you can't move or you can't go there, I inevitably want to go there and do something. So then
he's like, "Yeah, you got to pay like $1,000." Remember, he's like, "You got to pay like $1,000 to get off to use the bathroom." I'm like, "You got to pay a G to take a piss?" I'm like, "What is going on?"
I'm paying a G.
I don't think it's good job.
I don't think it's that much. I think Dan kind of exaggerated a little bit.
It?
But it is a great cause. It goes down. Actually, Adam Schneider, the guy who just donated the building to us, our new location in Spencerport.
Oh yeah,
he's been riding since we started this years ago, and the guy's phenomenal. And he comes out. He's
riding the carousel. He's phenomenal.
He does. He wears a tutu, and he comes out in this carousel. And this guy has the heart of gold. And here's a guy who would tell you himself, who got in trouble when he was younger. Had issues, went to jail, got out, but found God. And here's a guy that turned his life around. He's got a multi-million-dollar company he does in this 8,000 square foot building we were looking to buy from him. So I went to church with him on a Sunday, and then Tuesday afternoon he calls me and he says, "Listen, we're giving it to you. My wife, the Lord says, here it is, and here it is." And he gave us this 8,000 square foot building. Then we renovated the whole thing. It's 10 times bigger than what we had downtown, and we don't have less violence and vandalism that we had downtown. But the guy's got a heart of gold. You guys will meet him on the day of the carousel. Great guy.
Yeah, I can't wait.
No, he is.
Him and Jay have something in common. So he wears a tutu, Jason wears a 4/4. So Otto,
right.
So So,
Otto, do you remember the movie Flashdance?
I do.
Johnny's gonna wear a leotard like that on the.
Do we got to pour water on him? Do we got to pour water on him?
We're definitely going to pour water on him. He might overheat. This is the most exercise he's done in 6 months.
I'm going to cut my sweatshirt like Jennifer Beals going off the shoulder.
You're going to have your wristwatch all set for how many
steps
calories you burn and all that.
I can't believe you guys are doing this for us, and thank you. I know you're stressed over it.
So I want to ask you a question. So Mr. Schneider donates the 8,000 square foot building, you said?
Him and his wife, yeah.
So tell the audience about where you came from on East Main Street to where you are now. I don't want you to give the address of the place, but
no, it's okay.
Like you guys had a small, because you brought me on a tour. Remember when you brought me on a tour last year? Well, I couldn't believe that back room.
Oh my God,
that was organized.
East Main Street was actually, we started in Village Gate. When the Pirate Toy Fund started years ago, they had the attic up there and they bought toys up there. They had to walk up the stairs. Then eventually we bought the building on 1453 East Main Street and renovated that to do the toy, but that housed our office, our boardroom, and the warehouse. And it was very small space. Some stuff, we could barely fit the toys. And a lot of times we had overflow that Corrigan Trucking Systems, Moving Systems is a big support of ours, and they would house them in their tractor trailers. But then when Adam came up, we were looking to move, and Adam's like, well, listen, I'm going to donate the money to you anyways. Here, take the building. And he donated it to us.
Wow.
So the Simonetti brothers who own Simonetti Properties, Dave's on our board and co-founder, they renovated this place. It looks like a Fortune 500 company. It's gorgeous. The warehouse is 10 times bigger than what we had. We got racks in there. We renovated all the heating and cooling systems. Now we just got Roofing Rochester. Paul Melanik owns the company, and he's donating $50,000 worth of solar panels. So the Pirate Toy Fund's going to go green. So you're the first ones who heard this. This just happened. We're just looking into and stuff. And then we have Rick Wallenhorst from RJW Enterprises. He's got his connections, and they're putting a paved parking lot into us for free. Wow. That goes to show, you know what the worst part is? You hear all the bad and negativity. You hear the worst in the world. You guys don't hear the good, that the people are out there making a change and making a difference. Every night, last night there was a poor taxi guy got shot and killed, I saw. But yet you don't hear about these people that are spending their own money to make the better, place for the kids and things in the future. But that's the sad part. The news doesn't sell the good stuff. It just sells the bad stuff, which is it's a shame.
We also put out a lot of negativity too. I got to be honest with you. We haven't had a lot of lightness besides us joking around. Our topics are pretty heavy.
I know. Every time before Danny flips the switch, he's like, "Guys, could you try to end on a positive note?" We're like 100%, and we almost never do. But we wanted to have a pod because it was really cool. Because I hate to keep saying it, because the highlight of our career is like a firecracker. It just goes on and off. It's not going to be. So anyways, we went on Lonsberry. We told everybody we could talk about. But the cool thing is we spoke to Brett Zabreski, who did that big fundraiser, the 8 States for Mavs for Tony Mazurkowitz. God rest Tony's soul, and God bless his family. And we had Chief Dave Smith on. And the reason why we had Chief Dave Smith on, because the chief always gets a microphone stuck in his face. And when he gets it stuck, it's either at a police-involved shooting, a murder scene, and he doesn't, just because the news don't cover it. And literally, we were like, hey, could we talk about, instead of X, Y, and Z, the negative stuff, do you mind if we talk about some of the great things that your officers do? Because we know there's a lot of charity events. Jay's in charge of, and when he came up with the idea of the Good Night Lights with the kids at Strong, the news huge. Does a great job covering. That was Jay's brainchild. And stuff like that. We want to showcase, what cops do, the things that they do, and for no credit. No one wants any credit. Jay don't want any credit. But he should get credit.
Chief Smith was going to ride in the Derby, but he had a conflict. He was going to do it this year. And you guys all are aware of our Toys on Patrol program.
You heard about the 2 hours.
Yeah.
hey, you heard about paying $2,000 in cash to go take a wee.
Dave, I disagree with your negativity, because you make people laugh. And laughter heals everything, I'm telling you. But Toys on Patrol, we have every law enforcement agency in Monroe County part of this program. They put, if they're an option, was connected, gives us the Ziploc bags to protect them, goes in the trunks of to their police car. If they go to a domestic, you hand a kid a toy. Or if they go to an accident, hand a kid a toy. Monroe County Jail praises it because we put them in there so if a child has to go visit a loved one, it breaks down so many barriers that a child has to go through to make it a lot easier for him to go through that process. So the police departments, everyone in Monroe County is part of that program, including state police. And you don't hear the good stuff they do with that. I mean, there's a Jim LaRue, RPD guy. I mean, the kid is phenomenal. The best thing is, I don't know if you ever saw that photo of this poor African-American lady waiting at the bus stop in the rain, and he gets out with an umbrella and sits with her until the bus got there. Why isn't that making front news? Why isn't that being out there to the public showing, look what, this kid didn't have to do that. He could have drove right by and splashed her with his car. He didn't do that. He got out with an umbrella to protect this lady from the rain until her bus came. That's what RPD.
The
that's
news
what
hates the police,
right? And law enforcement. There's so much good out there, but it doesn't get out. It doesn't. And RPD.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
I just think by nature of the type of people that get into the business, right? And you're not the exception to this statement. You don't want the camera in front of you, right? You're not doing it to get accolades or to get recognized. We know why we're doing it, right? And there's been more times than probably we all care to imagine where we've walked into the corner store and bought something for the kids that are on the corner, or somebody who you try to alleviate the domestic, and you give one party a couple bucks so they can get a cab or catch the bus or do whatever, right? We do that without any accolades, any credit. We don't want it, right? And the only time that you get it is either some third party sees it and publicizes it, or for some reason somebody comes across the body worn camera of cops doing what they do all the time, and then they turn they show that positive. But that stuff happens nightly, right? Citywide, countywide, and Johnny says this all the time, and I hate to give him credit, right? But you don't get credit for doing the right things. You should just do the right things. You don't need to get credit for it. And that's what you guys do, and I know you're not the guy out there looking to get your back slapped for all the things that you do, but you do a ton of good stuff, Otto, and people are better for you helping their organizations and pushing their agendas, because they're all good things for the community.
Dude, I got to give it to my mom, okay? Because when I was 12 years old, I lost so much money. She'd say, go shovel Mrs. Johnson's driveway and don't take any money. Or go cut Mrs. Yitzy's grass, don't take any money. It's like I'm trying to make a living here. But she taught me at a young age, you have to give back. And I'm glad I can pass it on to my kids. I get friends. And anytime I've one of my best friends, Gary Federico, every charity between Story of Hope, Camp Good Days, Pirate Toy Fund, I need something, he's there. Equipment, money, whatever I needed, he's always there to donate to me. And that's what makes the world go round. But I got to disagree with one thing, Jason. Yeah, we don't do it for the accolades. We don't. But with so much negativity out there right now against the police, somehow we got to show them that there is a human side to us, and we got to show them that we do care. And if we don't toot our own horn, they're going to still keep thinking we're the bad guy. I know what you're saying. I didn't do it. None of us did it for the accolades. We did it because we cared. But the world has changed so much that the negativity against the police is so great. We need to show them that we're not the evil person you think we are. And that's the only thing I wish we can help somehow turn that around. I don't know how we would, but we need to.
Hey, Otto. Couldn't help but you said it's not for the money. Did you see you just got out of jail?
Yeah, I did.
That was for the money.
He did. Well, it was for 10.8 million. And let me tell you, it was for the money.
I saw a softball. I thought I'd take a swing at it.
That was a great investigation. That was a multi-agency investigation I was part of.
You guys talking about Albert Ranieri?
Yeah. That was a crazy case. The stuff that came up in that investigation was unbelievable. But we got the bad guy, and he did his time, and he's out. But it was a lot of work.
How long did he do?
I think he was supposed to do 30, but I think he ended up only doing 23. I think he's out under. Because he went under a federal, where Tony Leonardo went under state charges.
Yeah, see, you and I worked together for so long, and we sat in that 8x10, 10x10 wire room for 20, 30, 40, 50, 97 hours at a time, and you can't leave. And you had told me really, really big and high profile media investigations that you were a part of. This is one of them, actually.
It is.
I was telling the guys the other day that when he got released, I'm like, dude, man, Otto told me some stories about, the heist, and there was some, allegations of murder that were surrounding that, or attempted murders and blah, blah. I don't want to give too much away, but now that we're talking about it, would you consider coming to our studio and giving us a little education on some of the background, since there's some recency to this?
Everything's all adjudicated. Everything's said and done. I didn't get dragged into it until after the murder of Tony Vaccaro, because the armored car heist happened in 1990. Vaccaro happened in 2000. So I didn't get dragged into it till that point. But yeah, I'd definitely like to come back and talk about it.
And Otto, just so you can explain to people that are listening, the different capers, because there's multiple high multi-million-dollar robberies. There's the Gary Craig armored heist, right?
Well, there was the Brinks one, and there was the Brinks one and the AMSA.
Yeah,
right, two separate things. So I just want to, because I always got them confused. That's what.
Yeah, it's the Brinks. At the time, Brinks was the largest armored car heist in the world. United States history. It was that 10.8 million. That was the largest at that point. But Tony Leonardo was involved with kind of both of them down the line. There's allegations of things that came up in the Brinks as well as the AMSA one.
Well, listen, man, we would love to pick your brain.
There's not much to pick, but it's okay.
What's that, Jay?
I wanted to let you know too that I've had some pretty big deal cases too. That maybe I can talk about. I don't know if you remember 64 Eddy Street, but if you want me to maybe roll out a podcast for that, I mean, again, just laying it out there. We could bring Kevin Riley in. These are big. These are career makers. So I'm happy.
100 baggers.
I'm happy to touch on that if you would like. I mean, I'm not saying I have to. Just a thought.
Johnny,
you were with us
you were assigned with us with the Boys and Girls Club triple homicide, weren't you? Working that with us? Yeah, that was another great case.
That was homicide for that.
Yeah. I mean, that was a crazy.
Yeah, that's
one.
the Johnny Blackshell.
Yep.
Yeah,
and the other two ended up getting the subsequent. The other two got murdered.
Yeah, Mikey Mathis and Jalen Everett.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a drive-by. That was the mass shooting over there at a Boys and Girls Club. Yeah.
And Jalen Everett was the one that was dancing on top of the hoods of the police cars over in Maple section. Remember, he had a rap video he was doing, and he went there in the middle of the night, was dancing on the hoods of our cars.
Yeah.
Where's he at now?
He's dead. He got murdered, and so did Mathis.
Yeah.
But Johnny Blackshell's still in jail.
Yeah, that was
God was watching.
Oh yeah.
That was like August of 18, I think, or something like that. Either way, but that was we were in the wire room a long time on that one. I mean, we sat those lines.
And the sad part is innocent people died in that one, which was crazy because these kids just didn't care. They just shot up. They were trying to get one guy and they get different people, So justice has been served on all three.
Yeah.
I think people would be really interested in in that investigation, and
the 64 Eddy or the Blackshot one or the Ranieri one.
Listen, I want to hear about 64 Eddy.
I remember doing the Ranieri thing I was doing the rotation with TJ and those guys in the gun squad when they took off Supreme, and they were talking to Supreme, and that was very interesting. Some of the things he had to say related to that stuff. So it went. The tentacles of that stuff went so all over. It was kind of mind-boggling.
Similar.
It was an education.
To 64 Eddy.
Right.
Right. Johnny, that might be a 3-parter. I mean, like with
a series
with ATF SAC Curran, that was a big 2-parter. With Umbrino was a 2-parter. The 64 Eddy, it might be a 3-parter. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll try to get some bullet notes together for you.
It's a mini series.
It's a mini series.
One word for you, Jason. Netflix. I think that's definitely the 2.
That was a 3 evidence bagger, huh, Jay?
I mean, I told Johnny, Chuck Siragusa, the federal Judge Siragusa. I mean, he had the Shawcross thing. I have 64 Eddy. They're similar. I mean, they're very similar. So, I mean, career
when the movie comes out, is Joe Pesci going to play you or what?
And I'll be honest, I'd be honored. That guy's solid.
Otto sent a scud over the bow.
I'm just asking.
So there's two things about 64 Eddy Street, right? Two things about 64 Eddy.
Well, listen, the most important thing going on right now is May 4th, and you three being on my Carousel Derby.
Thank you, man.
That's the one. That's the one the world needs to know about. That's the one we should write a movie about. We're going to have little barf bags for you, just in case, Dave, you need it. It's going to be right attached to your horse, just in case you need it. I don't think it's going to happen. Or take a bottle of Dramamine before you get on. You'll be fine. I think it's awesome.
What did I tell you before we went live here? I said we go off, and I love the fact that you corralled us with your lasso and you pulled us back on task.
Dude, he had enough.
Yeah, he was like, these guys they just babble on.
We're Eddy Street. I know it's important. I know the world needs to hear about it, but I think we could get get the Derby in first, and then we'll go back to Eddy Street. That's all.
I think everyone here has hit 64 Eddy Street.
Jay, not anymore though, right, Jay?
Listen. All you do, Johnny, again, career maker. One time warrant, think it's knocked down.
Yeah, it's a vacant lot right now, right?
Ceases to exist. It's a vacant lot.
Listen, I just want to tell you right now, first of all, thank you for tolerating us.
No, thank you. This has been a blast.
So I will tell you this. We wish you the best of luck. We promise to be on our best behavior. So the staff at the Strong Museum.
Can you define best behavior?
Can I bring a cooler?
I can't. Jay's going to bring the construction hat.
I ride better going in circles with a Coors Light in me.
I can see you guys with a grill, a cooler, some yard chairs.
Koozie on my Coors Light.
Yeah, the Strong
Jay's going to set his Blackstone up on top of the carousel.
I'll bring the ambulance. We'll get the Purdue ambulance in.
Johnny, bring up the cigars.
Strong kind of defines we can't do that, but thanks for asking.
Shouldn't have asked her to just showed up.
Jesus, why did I ask these guys to take part in this? Oh, man. Well, listen. Otto Harnischfeger, Pirate Toy Fund, ptfderby.org, ptfderby.org. Donate. We're going to push you towards the Crime Dawg podcast, guys. Donate for us because it all goes to a great child. It's all going to the same pot
Don't be
of money,
cheap.
So.
Let's go.
Yeah, heads up. Don't be cheap. Otto, Executive Director, Pirate Toy Fund. God bless you, brother. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you tolerating us.
Guys, thank you. Good job.
Thank you, Otto.
We'll see you on May
4th.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you.
He's got the 2024 Carousel Derby coming up May 4th, 2024, 1 to 3 p.m. You can go to ptfderby.com. I may have misspoke a little earlier during the podcast, but it's ptfderby.com. Or you can go to thecrimedawgpodcast.com, thecrimedawgpodcast.com, and you all know how to spell dog, D-A-W-G. We're going after everybody, folks. I got to be honest with you. Sheriff Baxter, Chief Long, everybody that's on there. We're going to try to raise the most money out of all of them. So go to our website or go to ptfderby.com. Click on the Crime Dawg podcast. Donate to us. It all goes to a great cause. Thanks for listening to our charity episode. We hope you listen to future episodes. But like my brother-in-law, Frankie Grassi, says, if you can't make it, who cares?